So we have completed till box plot analysis. So let's go to the next part of the our discussion in data processing. That is yes. So how we visualize the data dispersion using box plot analysis. So this is an example of data visualization in box plot analysis where it's a three-dimensional data. There are three axes. One axis is this is cost, this part is revenue, and this part is profit. In three dimensions, this part is cost. The first smaller boxes are 0 to 1000, then it's 1000 to 2000. This particular part to the left uh, of your sorry, to the right is the cost, and to the base there is this this is the z axis, this is the x axis, and this is y axis is cost. Then this particular xy plane is revenue and profit. This particular is the cost and the revenue part, and the other one is the this is the cost part. So 0 to 500, then 500 to 1000, and you can see this the values are given in a three dimensional. So some say here is a value, a particular value in the where the values, see there are minimum values, maximum values, as we have done in the previous figure, that uh, this particular represents q3 part, then q1 part, and the maximum value and the minimum value. So in the next slide also, here in the top light blue color is the 75 or 30 or q3 quartile 3. In the deep blue color is the quartile 1, and then here in the down there is a red dot. Red dots are the red dots are your minimum, and upper value are the maximum. So this is an example where three dimensional, where revenue, profit, and cost are explained, are given in three different axes, x, y, and z, and all the value are represented as a cost, revenue, and profit. All of them uh, are given in the same are shown in the same box plot. The green color is the cost, red color is the revenue, and blue color is the profit. So here, if a value is in this particular box, this implies, that means the revenue in this case is, because red is the revenue in this case is 3500 to 4000, and in this case the cost is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So uh, cost is 1 2 3 4 5, so maybe 5000 plus. Cost is 5000 plus, and the profit margin is also 3000 plus. So this particular values in the box represents, this particular value in the box represent, revenue represents 3500 to 4000 approximately, cost represents more than 5000, and profit represents 3000 plus. So this is the, and there are certain lower values. So how many units are what is the in third quartile, how many values are in the there in third quartile, how many values are in there in first quartile, and what are the maximum and minimum value that have been explained, that have been given in this particular box. So this particular graphs helps you data visualization of the data dispersion, how the data is dispersed, how the variation of the data is there, how the cost, revenue, and profit deviate, ranges from lower limit to the upper limit. So after the box plot analysis, we can go to the other visualization part in the data description part, where there is histogram. We know how to draw the histogram. Histogram analysis is a graph that displays the basic statistical class, means how the values are, see, this is an example. This is a unit. In the x-axis there is unit price, and in the y-axis is the number of units that is sold. So, or like frequency of teams, what is written, and whatever. In the x-axis maybe there is unit price, and in y-axis there is the number of units sold maybe. So the between 40 to 59, the values are lying between say 2000 to 3000. Then 60 to 79, the values are lying between. So equal length, all the classes are of equal length, and histogram is the frequency of the class has been plotted in the graph. And that this represent that the gives you the total picture and overall picture throughout for the data set. Like from the graph itself, looking at the graph, you can say that the when the unit price was between 80 to 99, the around 5000 units are sold. When the unit price was 120, between 120 to 139, very less number, less between 0 to 1000 means it is about 200 units are sold. So from the histogram itself, the values, the number of units sold can be overall description of the data can be understood. So this is called frequency histogram, and it's a univariate graphical method. But in in Excel, we can see, we can find several histograms clubbed together in the three dimensional. Also, three-dimensional histogram are possible if you use the Excel sheet. Then a histogram, and it also consists of a set of rectangles. Yes, rectangles that reflect the counts or frequency of the classes present in the given data. In case of histogram, what happens? We draw consecutive rectangles. The rectangles are touched to each other. Mind that there are several ways of representation of data. So histogram is one of the way of representing the continuous data set. For representing the histogram, it has to be continuous. The data groups, the classes has to be made continuous, so that the data one the rectangles will touch each other. As you can see in this particular case, the graphs, the rectangles are touching each other. So let's go to the histogram is also one of the representation of data summarization. Then we have also seen the scatter plot, means just plotting the values x-axis the unit price, and the in the y-axis the number of units that are sold. So uh, so this particular dot or a particular point represent the x value as the unit price and y value as the number of units sold. So instead of, in the histogram, there are the frequencies are plotted. In scatter plot, individual values are plotted. So individual, each point has the two coordinates, two values. One is x value and one is y value, and it is scattered. Say this particular value means, say uh, the price is about 120 rupees, and the number of units sold is 600. So about that. So this is the representation of the scatter plot. Then the graphic displays of basic descriptive data summaries are other than this, other than that, the things that we have discussed, like data box plot, or mean, median, scatter plot, histogram analysis. So normal distribution. So these are quartile and outliers, box plot. These are the things that we have discussed for data measuring the dispersion and measuring the center tendency, which gives you the description of data summarization. There are some other smaller statistical tools. In case they are sometimes called the pie charts, bar graphs, these are the basic statistical representations that we have learned in earlier classes when uh, uh, line graphs, bar graphs, bar chart, pie chart. So there are several ways of representing the data. All these tools, all these things help us to visualize data in a manner so that it could be easily understandable, easily uh, understandable by the persons, by the people who are using the data, so that this kind of plots, this kind of representation gives a overall picture of the data set, how, and it can give you an idea how the data set can be used to retrieve certain kind of information and retrieve certain kind of how it could be analyzed to retrieve different kind of information. So this gives a overall view, this gives a overall representation of data. The next part of data processing is the data cleaning. So we have already discussed why process data, and then after process the different steps in the data processing, one of the important step is data summarization. Then the next part, as we have said, is the data cleaning. So what to do in the data cleaning? So we have already defined what is data cleaning, but again let's elaborate a little bit. So what is data cleaning? Data cleaning is actually filling in the missing values. So sometimes while typing we make mistakes. We sometimes put wrong values in place of proper values. So the data cleaning is required to identify the outliers and smooth out noisy data. So if the data is noisy, means there are many erroneous values are there, then, and also the what are the exceptional values, outliers we have discussed, that minimum and maximum values which are exceptionally outside the within the 75% of the data within the Q3 and Q1. So within Q3, Q1 and Q2 is our median value, Q1 is the first quartile, and Q3 is our third quartile. So most of the data 50 are lying within the 50% values, and then we multiply that range by 1.5, and outside those range is the outlier value. So we try to remove those outlier values so that more compact data can be used for analysis of the analysis and better result can be obtained through the analysis. So we need to identify, data cleaning is required for identifying the outliers and smooth out the noisy data. Then uh, we have to correct the inconsistent data. Inconsistency we have already discussed previously, uh, that because of we have seen inconsistent data due to the different data source and different dependency violation. We have already discussed these things, so we do not. So after our here we are trying to do the data cleaning. So in case of data cleaning, remove the we have to remove the identify the outliers, smooth the noisy data, correct the inconsistent data, and resolve the redundancy caused by data integration. Redundancy means similar data, same data may be used up again and again. So we have to remove those repeated data which are already being used, which are already there. So you have to remove those data to resolve the redundancy. So data cleaning tasks are required to for this four, mostly this four purpose. Now missing data is not always available because of certain circumstances. When you are collecting the data, it's quite possible that the respondents are not willing to provide you with the correct data, or maybe they are not willing to provide you with the response of a particular question. Or when you are using collect the data using questionnaire, maybe it's quite possible certain questions like certain question like what is your income. So people try to give skip those kind of information. So those data may not be available. So many tables have no recorded values in for several activities such as customer incomes in sales data. So if that data is missing, so you have to fill, either you have to fill the data or that particular data should be removed. Then missing data may be due to equipment malfunction. while while collecting the data, the maybe the equipment malfunctions. Like suppose you are trying to buy something using your credit card or debit card. You have entered your debit card and credit card details, debit card details, and then the OTP has came, OTP has received. But while putting the OTP, during putting the OTP, maybe the internet connection has gone, so you could not complete the purchase. So that is quite possible. The equipment malfunction may happen due to collection when we are collecting the data. So also inconsistent the data with other recorded data and thus could be deleted. Inconsistent means which is not having parity with the other data set. Means so all the, say suppose all the in case all the value, in certain cases all the, say we are you are trying to uh, find out the trying to find the average height of the student. So in that case maybe the students are having, most of the students are having say value between 60 uh, 60 inch 16 sorry 60 inches to 80 inches, means between 5 feet to 6 feet and maybe 6 feet most of the student. But if some value is like say 97 inches, some value comes like that, so that is almost impossible. It is almost impossible that a person is 7 more than 7 feet tall. So that means due to some discrepancy has arrived due to putting while putting the data. So you have to delete those kind of data. So certain data may not be considered important at the time of entry. So sometimes it may happen that some values are missing due to it was thought that particular value may not be important, so it is not being used. And lastly, it could be many data may need to be just a second. Many data not registered history of the changes of the data. Sometimes the data were changed, but the history of the data is not recorded accordingly. So there are several ways the data could be noisy. The data could have missing values. So whatever be the case, we have to do some cleaning so that this noisy data can be removed, the missing data can be filled, and this could be done by putting the average values of whatever available data is there. You can put the average value, calculate the average value and put the value there, so that all the data, all the columns of the data set can be fulfilled. So noisy means that the missing values have been put while entering the data, and inconsistent means it is not matching with the other values of the same set. So inconsistency of the data can also be removed by checking all the other values of the data set. And noisy data can be either can be deleted or can be uh, similarly can be checked with the other values and put the uh, can be put the average value, or some other methodologies can be used to correct the correct the data. Next, like this. So this is an example of noisy data. You can say it's a missing value. Mike, age 40, male, sex is male, income is 150K, class is big spender. And Jenny, another person, whose age is 20, she is female, but income is not given, and class is, so you are trying to uh, categorize the customer in different two, in this case two types, that is one is big spender and one is regular spender, but here the income is not given for Jenny. So here if income is not given for Jenny, so either you have to remove the Jenny's data or some value has to be put. So how to clean that data? So how to handle missing that data? Either, so one way of handling the missing data is to ignore the tuple. Ignore the tuple means, as I've said, you can remove the value for the Jenny. Either you, if the income column is not required, then you can remove the income column. Then all other values are remaining. Or it could be possible the Jenny, all all of them are important, then in that case you have to remove all the values of Jenny. Then row can be deleted. Either row can be deleted or column can be deleted, depending upon what is the kind of, if there are lots of values, if there are lots of data, say 150 to 200 values, 200 different persons you are having, so 200 different rows, then deleting one row will not make any difference. Deleting one row will be not making any difference, but deleting the income data, like a column, income is an important attribute, so deleting income column could be something wrong. So instead of that, deleting a row is much more effective in this case. So that is what I was saying, ignore the tuple means either you can remove the tuple or uh, or fill in the missing values manually. It could be tedious and infeasible. Manually means how we can either, if there are several rows possible values, and you can check what the other regular spenders are doing, what is the level of income of regular spenders. So you can put an average value of the regular spender over there. So this is where you can fix the missing value. Say in the whole data set, say there are 200 values, total 200 rows, 200 different persons names are there, and out of them, say 50 of them are regular. So you can sort the data as the regular and check what is their income. So, and check the average, find the average income of the regular spender and put the value here, so that Jenny is already kept. So that is how you can, that is one of the way of doing it, but that is a tedious, means time consuming. Also, that may not be true, that value may not be true, it may give a erroneous result, it is possible. And sometimes you can fill it with a automatically, like a global constant, like unknown values, and you can segregate those unknown values and use some other mathematical or statistical tool to analyze that. So the attributes mean for, as I've said, attributes mean for all samples belonging to the same class. As I've said, belonging to the regular class, you can find out how many of them are there and find the average and put it in the missing value, or the most probable value. Inference based on Bayesian formula of a decision tree. This is a quite a tedious job. What could be some probabilistic model can be applied to find the value, but that's a quite a tedious job. But instead of that, the average value can be used. That is a easier way to handle. Now next we come to next we will, so after we have handled the missing data, next we will check how to handle the noisy data. So noise, as we have said, is the random error or variance in a measured variable, like outlier values. There's a two different value, so wrong values. So how to handle the wrong values? It could be possible that incorrect attribute values may be due to the faulty data collection instrument. The 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 way it has been, the data has been collected could be, the process could be faulty. There could be problems in while entering the data, like the example that we have given, salary is equals to minus 10 or minus 100k, like that. So if I'm putting a minus, maybe while entering the data, some some negative sign has crept in, could just a human error has crept in. It could be data transmission problem while moving from, copying from one file to another file. There is a possibility some files, some particular values are missing. So there are different ways this noisy data can creep in. There could be technology limitation, like the example that I've said. Maybe while working working on your laptop, or working on your desktop, suddenly the system hangs, so the data could not be saved, the process could not be saved. So that is quite possible. And inconsistency in naming the convention. Convention means some particular convention could not be followed while naming or processing the data. So there could be data mismatch. Uh, like if you see in the similar kind of thing that we come across while in the Excel sheet. See, if you are copying a data and trying to put in other sheet, then sometimes it is said reference, and if the proper reference is not given, then the data may not be put properly. So these are the different ways of noisy data can creep in. And how to handle the noisy data? There are several methods. We will not discuss these methods because this is beyond our scope of the syllabus. So I'll just give the names. That is, one of the method is called binning method. The other method is called regression. Then the clustering, and then combined computer and human inspection could be used to handle the noisy data. Though there are several binning methods, binning method by or using data partition. We can give a small example, like this example. So how to use the binning method? Binning means your bin means putting the data in separate bins. Bins means separate places. Like, say, these are the values 4, 8, 9, 15, 21, 21, and other values are. So what you are doing, you are dividing or partitioning into in three equal parts. In you are partitioning in three different bins: bin 1, bin 2, and bin 3. So, and in bin 1, you are you have already sorted the data in the ascending order. So you are putting equal number of data in different bins. So 4, 8, 9, 15 is the first bin. So four values. So in each bin you are putting four values, and then you you try to find out what is the mean of each bin. So for the first bin 4, 8, 9, 15, the mean is 9, and you are changing, smoothing the bin values by using their mean. So all the values will be transformed using the mean value. You will change by the mean value. So the first bin, all the values will become 9. So 4, 8, 9, and 15. The mean of 4, 8, 9, and 15 is 9. So you put in first bin, all the values are 9. In the second bin, the values are 21, 21, 24, 25. So if you make the mean, then if the mean of this second mean is 23, so you are allotting all the values as 23. And then in the so this is smoothing by bin means. This is a way of smoothing by bin means. There is another way of smoothing by bin boundaries. So first bin, lower boundary and upper boundary. So you keep the lower boundary and upper boundary. What you do, you keep most values, two values as lower boundary and two values as upper boundary. You are smoothing this way, so that you are keeping the things in such a way first three values are lower boundary, then this, and this is by using the, so this is a method called data smoothing by or removing the noisy data. Only specific values are to be are kept. So this is one method. Then regression will be learning in details in future. So now we are not dealing the not explaining the regression part, because we have already know what is the linear regression, and where we are trying to plot the values and find the best fitted straight line or regression line. uh, so one way of another way of doing that, smoothing the noisy data. Then there is also something called clustering, where we are trying to put club group of values together. So this is one way of clustering the data. And these three which are not clustered outside these clusters. So we have made three clusters, means all this data are together together three different clusters, and these three which are not in any of the clusters are outliers, are outside. So we can remove those outlier values and keep these clusters and keep them combined. So this is one way of this is one way of clustering the data. And combine input combine computer and human inspection, means again rechecking and checking through human way, get back what is the from where the data has been sourced. So recheck the source and use the computer program or computer methodologies to handle the so that the noisy data can be removed, or noisy data can be cleaned in such a way that data set can be used. That data set can be, so these are more four, generally these four are the methods to handle the noisy data. We will not, because in our syllabus it is not very important. We will learn regression and some part of clustering to handle the noisy data. So in the smoothing by method, what happened in bean 1, like the bean 1 initially had 4, 8, 9 and 15. So lower limit is 4 and upper limit is 15. But as 8 and 9 is nearer to 4, so 8 and 9 is replaced by 4 and 15 is kept as it is. Similarly, in the second bin also, the values were 21, 21, 24 and 25, and we are trying to smooth it by bin boundaries. So either we will be keeping 21 as the lower boundary and 25 as the upper boundary. So we have kept 21, 21 and 24 is replaced by 25, because 24 is nearer to 25 than 21. And in the finally in bin 3, 26, 28, 29 and 34, the boundaries are 26 and 34, as 28 and 29 are nearer to 26. So all these three values are taken as 26 and 34 is kept as it is. And again, if we explain a little bit as the clustering part, the clustering is done such a way. We have done the scattered plot. So this is the scattered plot, and the clustering is done with respect to the values which are nearer. The nearer values that are clustered. So these values are clustered together. These values are clustered together. See, all of them are near, very near. These values are also near, so that they can be grouped together. They can be clustered or grouped together, and that's why it has been done in this way. And these three separate values which does not belong to any of the groups are the outliers. It is also, it can, we could have made a group like this. It could have been, so this could have been the outlier, could be outlier also. But since it is also near to that particular values, and all the shapes of the clusters are similar, all the shapes of the clusters are similar, and that's why we have kept the cluster are done in this way. Looking at the data, looking at the values, it can be grouped in such a way. So that is how the clusters are made, and other which are not there, not belonging to that particular cluster, any of the clusters are outliers, and those can be removed, those can be removed.